Getting red dirt rich, Flint River paid, hot fishing, loving every day.
Hey, I just wanted to give a shout out to everybody and give them a little update what's going on. It's August 22nd, 2026, and just got off the water and had one of our best trips of the year. We had the Smith family with us, and we had rescheduled them from the Fishing for a Wish event that happened earlier this summer. We couldn't get them out fishing because the weather was poor that day, so we got them out today, and it wasn't necessarily the biggest fish we caught all year, but probably the best blessing that we received all year long. Just being able to share a trip and an adventure with that young lady, Claire. She, cute little girl. It was awesome trip with her and her family. Great family. So great to get to meet them. So that was today. Good. I want to give a big shout out to Caleb Cobb also with that. Caleb put this event together, Fishing for a Wish, and has a big heart for that program, and took a lot of work, a lot of effort to get that together, and a great event. We're really hoping he's going to do it next year, and just if you have a chance to support that, I would encourage that. So we also last Saturday, we fished the August Walleye Bash, and we took a second place in that tournament. That was an awesome thing. That is actually the second place we had this season in that tournament, and that we did pretty much the same thing as we did the last one in June. Conditions are similar. In June, the water temperatures were warm. We could run worm harnesses and finding a lot of the bigger fish near the bottom. So we were fishing pretty much the same kind of pattern. So we've been getting a lot of questions. I told everybody what we did the last time, and still getting some questions on what we're doing. So I was pretty going to show you off the side of the boat what's going on. So what we do is we run 3 rods on each side of the boat. And I got 3 rods in the rod holders right now, pretty much sitting the same way we would run them most of the time. And it starts out the front of the boat in that direction. We have an 8-ounce weight with a 5-foot leader on behind it, and run a worm harness behind that. So the first one's an 8-ounce weight. The next one's a 5-ounce weight. Same deal with a 5-foot leader and a worm harness. They're all rigged the same way. And then the last one would be a 3-ounce inline weight. So what's going on here is because, you're trolling or drifting, and the lighter the weight is, the more it swings back. So the 8-ounce weight, it's staying down, almost running like a downrigger, almost straight down. The next weight back, the 5-ouncer, it's swinging back at maybe like a 45-degree angle. And then the last one, the 3-ounce inline weight, it's probably, it's blowing back at maybe a 30-degree angle. So that's how you keep your lines from getting tangled up. And so we're kind of on that. We're running something similar like a salmon spread. Like, with salmon fishing, a lot of times I'll put a big attractor to the front of the rig, in front of their spread. So that's what we've been kind of doing. A lot of times we've been running either my spoon harnesses or spoons with slow death hooks, or my Whack-'em spoons, and they're all spoon worm harness type rigs. We run those in the front of the gear, and a lot of times we'll run them up just a little bit higher, maybe 10, 15 feet off the bottom. Then the next one back, the 5-ounce weight, we run something a little more like a traditional type harness. It's like this. This is just one of my custom painted number 4 blades. It's in blueberry muffin. These are all floaters too. Well, that'll be the next rig in the spread. And that, a lot of times that one's going to be pretty close to the bottom. We're going to try to get that down there. And then the last one in line is the 3-ounce weight. And we'll put something on it. A lot of times it's a little more natural looking, or a smaller type presentation. If they don't take one of the things in the front, then we're kind of batting clean up with the smile blade. So a lot of people ask about colors. I'm not real big on colors as being, we kind of let the fish tell us what color they want. And a lot of times I think it's more important just get that bait right in front of them. And so, like, it seems like pretty much all that stuff's working. One of the things we're finding a lot of times that 3 ounce weight that's basically bat and cleanup, it's the last thing the fish see. When we think the fish are really pretty much taking it every time they're coming by, and that a lot of times we've caught all the fish before that 3 ounce weight goes by. And when we start seeing that, what we've been doing some is we'll throw like a small planer board on that because we're going really slow. We're only going 1, 1, 3. So we've been running like a small planer board just on that one bait and getting it maybe 15, 20 feet off the side of the boat, not far. And it just helps spread things out a little bit. But they're close to you, and you can see the rig really well. So you can see the bites even just with one planer board out there usually. And something we've found that's a great product I've come across recently. We always struggle finding a good release for braided line, and I'm running 20-pound test braided line on all these rigs. So we came across this new product. It's called a mag release, and basically your line goes in behind this magnetic release, and you can pop the releases. If you haven't seen those and you like to use braided line with small boards, that's a great release. It hasn't failed me yet, and there's not much in fishing that won't fail you eventually. This thing's released every time I've wanted it to, just with a real small tug like you would do on a dipsy, but it's way lighter than that. It snaps off real easy. So they make them for all kinds of boards, church and offshores. They make all kinds of, and then the rear release is really nice too. It works really well with braid. You wrap it around it, and the way they designed it, it functions really well. It's really easy to use. So check them out, mag releases. Another thing we've got into lately is I've switched rods, and we're using Denali trolling rods, the Denali Train series rods. They're good value rod. They're not real expensive for a very high quality carbon fiber rod. And I really like these. And a lot of my customers have been coming on the boat, or other guys are fishing for me. As soon as they pick these things up and they start fishing with them, or start reeling a fish in, they ask, "What are these rods?" It's because they feel like you feel like you got a high quality rod in your hand. And a lot of times with trolling rods, you buy what you can afford. And my boat, I run big boards a lot of times, so I'm running 12, 14 rods on my boat, and they all got to be the same. So, like I said, they're economical, so you can buy a lot. If you need to buy a lot of them to cover your boat, you can. But so they're very light. They got a really, really nice rod or handle on them, and I like they got the through blank handle. You can actually, when you put your finger on them, you can actually feel the blank itself right there behind in front of the trigger. And another thing that's a cool feature about these are telescopic, and a lot of telescopic rods, when you put the rod down, it rattles around, and it's like flip flops around, and then it'll slide. If you tip the rod down, the rod will slide out. Well, these have some kind of spring in them, or something that makes them snap back in, and they're not like floppy loose like if you were going to put them in a rod locker. And the rods I've been using for quite a few years, they're more of a glass type rod, and they work good because we have to have a lot of flex in the tip to be able to see the bites. And these do. They have really good flex in the tip, so it's easy to see the bites. But these things have a lot of significantly more backbone to them in the lower part of the rod. But because they're carbon fiber rods, you can see these really light bites just show up really, really well on them. And I'm really impressed with these rods. Denali, they're the Denali Train series rods, and I think they're versatility wise, they work great on our big boards. and they've worked great for the small boards and this drifting program. There's 3 different ways we've been running them, and they've worked great. And I would say they would be my go-to rods for all of those things. But say you were going on a trip somewhere and you needed, you could only take so many rods with you. Say you're going up into Canada fishing on, getaway trip. I'm pretty sure I could run bottom bossers with these rod in hand, and with that black exposed there, and just the carbon fiber rod. They're very sensitive, and with bottom bossers, a lot of times you got to let that rod load up with the fish and then make a sweeping hook set. I think the action would be almost perfect for those. So there you got a rod that can handle 4 techniques with that, all in one rod. So I'm very impressed with these rods. So if you get a chance, check out Denali Train Series. Great trolling rod for, some guys around here that have to buy, a dozen rods for a boat. If you're rigging up, I would definitely look into these. So, excuse my back. Another thing we did during the tournament, I've been doing a lot this year, is I've been doing a lot of forward-facing stuff. It's not my main program. Typically, when I'm out, especially this tournament, I'm out there fishing with my family, and nothing against live scopers. It's a game. It's a way to go. But I can't go out there and just totally live scope myself. It wouldn't be fun for my family. But the way we've been fishing when we're drifting, I can still live scope to some degree. I can cast off the side of the boat. I can search for fish and cast. And actually, we caught at least one of our wave fish for certain, and maybe 2 of them I caught jigging with forward-facing sonar. And this is kind of like Primos, no Hollywood here, or can't remember how they said that. This ain't Hollywood, I guess it was, a car driving by. But anyhow, so I was able to do some forward facing while we were doing that. I didn't catch a lot of fish doing that, but I caught some, and I caught a couple of really quality fish, and it was kind of fun because I spent a lot of time this summer trying to learn this forward facing game, and it's a lot of fun if you've never done it. But this has become my kind of go-to bait for this 1 ounce and 3/4 ounce purple hair jig. I buy these from Poor Richards. It seems to be the most productive thing I have, and I'm not set up like a lot of the guys are. I don't have a big screen yet on my boat. I only have a 9-inch screen with Lowrance Active Target 1. So for me to see that jig hit the water, or it's everybody wants to see their bait going into the water. That helps them to know where it's at. Well, these hair jigs, I think it's that there gets air trapped in the hair, and you can see the trail behind them when they hit the water really easy, a lot easier than any of the other baits. I mean, I've used a lot of other things, caught fish on them, but this seems to be the most consistent. And with this too, I actually got a couple different Denali spinning rods, and I'm really liking them. I might be a little on the light side though. We're using really heavy jigs, and this Mirad live scope rod of theirs. I believe it's the medium action one. It's working. I like the action. I think it would be better for probably half 5/8 ounce jigs. And that's what it's rated for, but I'm overdoing it with these big jigs. I think maybe I need the heavy one. Anxious to get a hold of one of these, but they're a great rod, and they have a lot of rods that have great value on them too. And this one there again, it has that same feature where it has a blank exposed in the grip, so you can feel that blank in your hand. That's a really nice feature to have on these rods. So fishing wise, what's been going on? We continue to do the same drifting thing. The fish have moved around a little bit. They're not everywhere. You definitely got to go search for them. Having, being able to mark fish at speed is kind of critical. One of the things making it a little more difficult right now, there is a lot of white bass and white perch in the area. So you go out there, you're marking lots and lots of fish, and seems too good to be true. It probably is too good to be true. It probably is a bunch of white perch and white bass. So you're seeing too much of it. You're not getting bit. Move. But there's still lots of fish in the system or in our area. Just be flexible. We fished the other day. It was kind of a tough bite. I made 4 different setups, and that's what we got our fish. It took a little longer, so we're definitely spoiled here. If it takes you 3 or 4 hours to get limited out, you're kind of like, what's going on? But they're still here. Just spend a little more time looking for them, and you guys are still having really good days where they're limiting out really quick. It's just, if you're lucky enough, you can land on those fish, which are a little tougher to find right now. So it's still good. When the weather cooperates. So this is Mike with Mike's Walleye Rigs.
Hunting, fishing, loving every day. That's a prayer that a country boy prays. Thank God he made me this way. Hunting, fishing, loving every day. Early in the morning, late in the evening, I'm getting red dirt rich, Flint River paid. Hunting, fishing, loving every day.